don't want to have a seat at power. And sadly, I think that describes almost all of them at this point. But there are some that are much worse than others, and so I think the idea of having a central power that has that is morally upstanding and holding up the right virtues is better than letting people because you want let people have their rights and their freedom. You're going to essentially condone things that you know are morally bad for them and for society at large. And I've fully come full circle on this libertarian thing where I still think in economics it makes a lot of sense, but I don't think a good society would find it virtuous to allow people to do things that they know are going to harm people.
Well, it's a little bit like people saying, it's a human right to have Medicare, Medicaid. That if I get sick, I should have that opportunity to get healthy using expensive technology and services and products that taxpayers are willing to borrow and spend on my behalf. It's like, so, I mean, listen, I mean, we have hours left to live. And if you were to look at a calendar, and really figure out what is essential, because so many of our thoughts and so much of our words that we speak are just not essential, and this app 100% proves that 99.9% of every thought and every word is completely non-essential. So, I don't know, I have this book collection, and what's interesting is in bankruptcy, you have to give up your book collection. And it's a little bit like really declaring bankruptcy, because now you got no value at all. But I don't know. I mean, this is just like this is that Jamaican bobsledding run. You got hours left on this run.
Bankruptcy, bro?
No, I'm not, but I'm saying when you review bankruptcy laws, one of the things you have to surrender is all your books, because rare books, are very rare and valuable. But you can I can put too much value on books. It's just really just another form of media, just like this app. But again, this is brain damaged Clubhouse users. And again, I think that this app really is a roast app where people come here to self roast themselves or to roast other people. So
Brain damage Clubhouse users. You're hurting me.
one of the rules that I like about Mojo's old room was, don't bring in drama from old rooms. I also like another rule is don't mention past speakers, just say former speaker, because making it ad hominem.
What are you, Steve?
No, because like I am interested in intelligence and communication exchange of high value intelligence, whether that's political gossip or, books, whatever, but it's gotta be high value intelligence.
Things that you know are morally bad.
Yeah. So, Mojo, what are you talking about? Like, are you talking about kind of your stance on, like, drugs and shit? Like, you used to be okay with just all drugs being legal, and now you understand maybe that wasn't such a good idea, or what are you talking about exactly?
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start. But I think, just in general, just asking yourself the question, like first of all, I don't think I would legislate something if somebody was specifically having a vice that only harmed themselves. I think, okay, if you want to harm yourself, fucking go for it, But I think there's a really good argument that some of the scumbaggery things that people decide to do are not just harmful to themselves; they're harmful to other people, and some of it is couched in politics. Some of it's couched in, hell, even in the framework that I operated from politically, the idea that like, oh, freedom is the biggest thing. Well, what if you knew the truth and you were operating with agency to do things that you knew were bad for you? That's not exactly a good thing, So like, I think there's I discovered the fact that there's a higher value than freedom, and I don't think there's many higher values, but I do think that truth and trying to do the morally right thing is probably more important than being able to do what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, for the greater good of society, I guess. And I mean, like, definitely like fentanyl and meth. I think meth is a huge problem. Like, because I'm a pothead. I like weed. And when I was growing up, I used to think the same thing. But all drugs should be legal. As long as they're not hurting anybody. But the fact of the matter is meth and fentanyl is hurting people. So that's
Well, I know a lot of smokers that are hurting themselves every time they smoke, whether it's a cigarette or a joint. Um, you know, listen, this is a health question. I mean, to lock people, you know how many people my father arrested for probably cannabis use and put in prison, let alone all these. I mean, to go spend years in prison for smoking weed, maybe outside of a bar, some cop arrests you next, like that to me is like insane. To sit in prison, to sit there and meditate, about peace and how you were a peaceful person, just smoking. See, the thing about cannabis is, and alcohol, our founding fathers probably mixed the two as well. I think it's a good thing all these dispensaries are everywhere, but I have friends that take Adderall and they have serious health repercussions, I believe, from the Adderall and from the Ritalin from 20 years of doing that. So I think those ramifications are more dangerous than cannabis and alcohol, with limited consumption.
Oh, dude, Adderall's bad shit, dude. I was prescribed it for a while, and it definitely had effects on my psyche for sure.
Can we avoid the side effect of Xanax in this conversation? Because right now I'm in a place in my life where Xanax is pretty good.
Yeah, whatever works for you, I guess, dude.
In my experience, Xanax is awesome.
See, I don't know. I like to keep it real natural. I think, I drink alcohol, wine and beer primarily, and cannabis, hybrid indica, and I don't take any pills. I go to the gym, I do yoga, I sit in the sun like 2 hours a day if I can. I mean, I'm still having health problems, so, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm doing all right, but I think the smoking is honestly what causes a lot of health problems,
Well, let me ask you, where do you get sun in Chicago all the time, bro?
my house, I get a great western sunset from like 3 to 6 p.m. and I bake in it every day if I can.
Okay.
High vitamin D, dude. Fucking super high immune system. I can't remember the last time I got a cold or a flu, but it's all that sunlight. And
Your vitamin D levels are probably doing pretty good.
it's gotta be. My health has never been better since I got this place and I got this sunset. I never had a western sunset in my life in terms of my home, so I think it made a huge difference.
You said you were having health problems?
Yeah, I get gout flare-ups in my feet, but that's because I eat and drink like a pig and smoke pot, and I'm just overdoing it in the summer months. But anyways, things are good now. My health is fine right now, but you know, anyways, we have brain damaged Americans in the millions, at least 60 million highly brainwashed individuals. Everybody at all these No King protests are highly brainwashed. Um, and there's no coming back. They're out there. They are far out there. But you know, I don't know. This is just yin and yang, left and right. I mean, it's probably the percentage breakdown of left and right has probably always been the same. Maybe some peaks, and crescendos and troughs, but Young people today.
You really think that they're brainwashed as opposed to there not being some problematic things happening?
Like what?
Well, like, you know, the president, we have a president where people constantly tell me he can't do this thing. And then he turns around and does that thing. And every day I am more and more. I'm no longer surprised at the. Hold on. I'm no longer surprised at the things that he does because obviously he can just do whatever he wants.
So give me an example, a specific example. Like, give me an example of what you're talking about. It's kind of a blanket statement. But
Liz, you don't like the
no.
you don't like Operation Midway Blitz and snatching up illegal aliens, do you?
I love
No, illegal aliens are fine to snatch up. It's legal people that end up getting a one-way trip to places that they've never been that's problematic.
So legal people, not American citizens, but illegal people who you claim are in the process and they're legally here.
Yes, that actually did happen, but the illegal people have no problem with them being taken back to wherever they need to be taken back to.
Okay, so Mojo just a few minutes ago said that he's worried that maybe he's becoming authoritarian. Mojo, can you expand on that sentiment of yours?
I'm just realizing that some ideas are so bad that the idea of like, oh, there's no such thing as a thought crime. Well, is that true? Like, if somebody's homicidal, like, wouldn't we want to know that? Wouldn't we want to say, yeah, but those thoughts could lead to behaviors, and those are not the behaviors we want, and that's not the thoughts of a healthy person. I'm getting to the point where whether you're a communist, a socialist, an Islamic fundamentalist, a pedophile, a fascist. There's all these buckets of like, no. We don't need these people. And I'm starting to think that like, if you're on the side of what's morally good, then like maybe what we should do is start eliminating what's morally bad.
Oh, bro, you sound like a fascist. You sound like a Nazi.
Well, that's fine. That's a critique that I'm willing to think about and mull over. Here's what I would say.
Let me ask you, Mojo, real quick. What makes you think that you are so fucking moral that you think you should eliminate the other side, bro? Like, that's crazy about being libertarian, but literally thinking we need to eliminate the other people who just think differently from us. Like, dude, that's fucked up.
Well, perhaps if your communication style was to be more inquisitive and ask questions rather than jump to conclusions, you know what? Go ahead and carry on. You can believe whatever you want to. Yeah, but again, you didn't ask any questions, so let me explain.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You've heard enough. 3 sentences was enough for you to form an opinion. Perfect. Carry on.
I have formed quite an opinion from just those statements where you just put it out there plainly, where if people are what you think are fascist or Nazi or pedophiles.
That's not what I said. No. I'm not talking about what I think. I'm talking about what we can observe to be true.
This is Roger, isn't it? This is Roger.
No, hold on. Jesus Christ! How about this? Go learn about a word called logic, and then when you read about the word logic, then come back and we'll have what's called a conversation.
No, repeat your statement, what you said again, because I heard you pretty loud and clear. But if you'd like to recant it,
I will say it in words that you might be able to understand.
Oh yeah. You probably have to complicate it, or you made it pretty clear what you said. But just say it again, though, please.
No, I'll gladly say it again. In a world where you had, let's say, Nazis that were killing Jews by the millions, I think that it's the righteous thing to do to eliminate the people that do those things. I think that in a world in which you have Islamic extremists that have a worldview where they want to kill people that disagree with them, I think that that is an egregious threat to the way of life that people want to have that's morally good. They have a prophet that they pray to. I don't know if you knew this, but their prophet married a 6-year-old girl and had sex with her when she was 9. I just think that there's. Hold on. Let me finish. Okay. If you want to talk to yourself, talk to yourself. And I'll tell you what. I'll just move myself down, and you talk to yourself. You talk to yourself.
Mojo, who are the
I wanted to talk to you, Mojo. Please don't walk down.
He just doesn't want to. He's said enough to where literally, like, he can't really go back to that, or he can't really. Always, he's just repeating himself.
Yeah, but Mountain, honestly, you're over talking, and like, you gotta people, you gotta listen. I mean, you're just over talking. That's the truth.
Well, the fascist though.
Well, green bean fascists do live, but you haven't experienced fascism yet, and you're still on stage. You're not in the goo. There's no communism, fascism here yet, but it's coming.
Wait a minute though, John. I'm pretty sure though the fascists are MAGA people, right? Trump and the MAGA people, right?
I would not describe those as fascists, no.
Well, who are the fascists, dude?
I would refer to them as the ones that self-identify as fascists. The ones that quite literally identify as fascists. I mean, like, I don't know what your experience has been on Clubhouse or in the real world. These people exist, and I think where people make mistakes is when they try to stretch these definitions and apply them to people that don't apply. The fact that you got offended on behalf of MAGA Republicans who wasn't even referring to, I think says a lot about where you thought I was going in this conversation. So why don't we talk about the guilty conscience that you have?
No. What it is first of all, the left has been painting us as fascists, but also just you wanting to eliminate people who have a different ideology, dude, is pretty fucked up. You know?
Okay, let me make this more clear. When the communists came to power, what did they do?
Who came to power? When
the communists came to power, what did they do? And we can pick it anywhere. Okay, let's talk about in Russia.
You have to specify.
Let's talk about Russia. Let's start there. Let's go to communist China. Let's go to Cambodia. You pick a place where communists took over, where you got a result that you were happy with.
I just want to make sure that we're not painting, Americans as fascists and communists.
No, you're assigning that stuff. I'm literally talking about fascists and communists.
Well, here's the thing. Who the fuck is going to go out and say, besides this app, I'm a communist, I'm a fascist, bro? You think
they do it all the time. They do it all the time.
Where at?
All the time.
Where?
They do it all the time. I don't know what bubble you live in.
Hey, what the fuck are you talking about? Where at?
Members of the Communist Party, man. In Chicago, I see them on the streets all the time.
We had a city council member that was a card-carrying member of the Communist Party in the city of Seattle. I don't know what bubble you live in. I'm talking about literal. Hold on. Listen, you got offended thinking that I was talking about like Americans as being unfair. Hold on.
I'm not offended by that.
No, you got offended because you thought I was talking about Americans that get unfairly labeled things that they're not.
Yeah.
I just very specific in my language. I was talking about communists. I was talking about fascists. I was talking about Islamic fundamentalists. We could call them Islamists if you like. We could call them jihadis if you like. There are ideologies that people subscribe to today. And by the way, when you add up all of those people, it totals in the billions of people. So it's not just this fringe group of
So
people.
you think billions of people should be killed?
No, I think what we really need to do is make sure that we have an ironclad understanding about what our constitutional republic will and will not allow. And I think that when it comes down to some of our misunderstandings throughout history, I think Joseph McCarthy was a fucking misunderstood hero in the United States of America. And I think what we need is a Joseph McCarthy 2.0.
My problem with this whole thing, it's not about the whole, not just the American thing. I was hoping that you weren't trying to label MAGA people as fascist, communists, but I wanted to hear that. But here's the thing, man, that I worry about. So, as a Second Amendment person, something I've always been afraid of is tyrannical governments. Just like it's funny how you talked about Pol Pot, the Cambodian killing fields and stuff, and in Russia, how these governments were able to kill millions of people. And I know that these people are fucked up for thinking this way, maybe. But should they be killed? I don't think so. I don't think that we need to, kill millions of Islamists, like you say, or people that are sympathetic to communism, or I think that that's just not the right way, because then at the end of the day, what makes us better exist. So I find myself.
It's because of what we're trying to protect. You have to understand, and I tried to speak about this earlier, but I think it might have gone over your head. Is that politics is derivative of your worldviews, of your theology. The communists, they're atheists. The atheists, their worldview is that life is not. There is no virtue in protecting life. If they want to kill you, they will kill you. They will kill their political enemies. And so understanding that that's what communists believe, because their worldview permits them to do that, when they get political power, then they're enabled to do that. And so I don't think, like, you're assigning it to the fact that they're in government and you're making it a political problem. I'm saying that upstream there's a malady that's happening that you're overlooking, and that malady is that they don't believe in the sanctity of human life.
Here's the thing, though. I just don't think killing them is the way to get away with it, because at that route, then you don't either. If you think just killing them.
It's not necessarily about killing them. It's about making sure that they never see power. That they have no pathway to power. Like, for example, and I'd love to get the opinion of somebody that lives in Illinois. When you have people that come from Islamic countries that are taking over city governments that want to institute Sharia law in the United States of America, do you find that problematic?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, doesn't it also depend on the kind of Muslim they are? If they reject LGBTQ and they're of that type of ilk, but I mean, if they're a merger of Islamic doctrine and LGBTQ, I mean, it's very rare. But I mean, listen, we're fully integrated, meaning that we're fully invaded. I mean, this country, the thing is, compliance is the issue. There's just no enforcement at all. I can't believe we're even doing what we're doing with immigration, because that muscle power to physically arrest people, put them on planes under guard, and put them in that's a lot of fucking work. It's unbelievable how much work that is. So anything is possible with the right will, and but that's the thing, is like, is that what the focus of our national consciousness should be, is on that type of enforcement? How many things can we really do, without fully exhausting ourselves and digging ourselves a bigger debt hole? So it's like, what is the optimal game theory approach to America's predicament?
Well, I think first of all, we have to acknowledge that there are subversive elements, and we can't allow this idea that because I believe in free speech, they should be able to say what they want to say. What I would argue, though, is that we should have a diligent effort to educate people that what is undergirding what a lot of people believe in, and they'll come with what some people will find themselves sympathetic to jihadis when they see or hear a Palestinian speak of what's going on in Gaza. What they don't back it up and look to is the fact that these same jihadis want to kill people. And so, I mean, the United States of America, even before we were a country, we were at war with Islam. We were at war with them. And people might say, well, what the fuck do you mean we were at war with them? We built a fucking navy because of Barbary pirates. Like, they were kidnapping Americans and British people and enslaving them because Allah said that they could. This is not a new problem. There are some ideas that are just very fucking dangerous. When you have people that come from Islamic countries that are taking over city governments that want to institute Sharia law.
That's what I thought about that shit, though. I hate those words. It's dangerous for people to be able to talk. Like, I think people should be able to see the sensibility of it, man. We could be able to sway their opinion, but through talk but force, dude, I don't like that shit. We're no better than the tyrannical governments that try to enforce that. So let these dipshits hang themselves and talk that way, and let the process go out. But I just don't like this forcing people to think a certain way with guns or with power. That's all I'm saying. I mean, like, if they're threatening our country, our republic, that's different. Like we'll have to fight, obviously, like a foreign enemy. But if we got civilian, if we got like American citizens that are, fringe talking their way, I don't think communism's ever gonna fucking gain a hold.
Well, Mike, let me Mountain. Look at Mamdani. I mean, technically, he could be arrested under the Communist Act of like '54 or whatever it is, but there's no willpower to do that. And if you do arrest him, then you become a hypocrite because everybody says, "Oh, he was trying to give us, we the people, what we deserve." But the fact is, if we were to give the people what they deserve, it would be less taxes, less borrowing, and less spending.
That's what I want.
You have to acknowledge that there are subversive.
I trust me. I don't like what our country's become. I don't like this shit. Trust me, I don't. I'm willing to fight a bunch of leftists and shit who are willing to take my country, but to shoot a bunch of American citizens that are in some fringe political.
Dude, you keep going on to this violence.
We'll call for that.
Yeah, I don't know where you keep getting this from. Nobody here is saying that.
Bro, you said you wanted to kill them.
No, that's not what I said. You didn't listen to what I said.
What?
I want to make sure that these people have no pathway to the power structures of any institutions in this country. Education. I don't want them in healthcare. I don't want them in our police departments. I certainly don't want them in local, state, or federal government. Certainly not law enforcement. I don't want them making decisions in this country.
That just sucks, man. I hate how we have to be dishonest here. I guess we could go back on the recordings, and that's why.
Dude, Mountain, you got a listening problem. You don't have a speaking problem. You have a listening problem because you're always speaking when you should be listening a little bit.
You have a mental issue. He clearly fucking said, dude, that he.
Dude, you're the only one who has said that, and you've said it over and over again. I've listened to every word we've been saying, and you're the one who keeps saying it. Yeah, you might have to. If you want to waste your Saturday night, that's what you're going to do.
So, that's fine. If you have to be children here, and you're going to go back on what you said, not admit what you said, then that's fine. I don't have to talk to you.
Okay, now you're doubling down and digging a deeper hole, my friend. Nobody here is being children. In fact, you are projecting when you're calling us children, sir.
Dude, listen, are you going to fucking go back and say that you didn't say that? That's why I got all mad at you.
I know, first of all, I know exactly what I said, and if you want me to clarify.
Yeah,
Don't
position.
Dipshit, how do you intend on stopping people from being police officers and being in positions of power if you how do you do that? So first of all,
Well, I can answer to that, but you know what? Go ahead. It's more interesting hearing you talk to yourself. Go ahead.
no. It's just what's crazy is that you're a liar. You're an adult.
Okay, dude, I'm gonna have to put some room rules if we're gonna continue this, and I don't have much more time. I am gonna leave my house here and go meet some friends at the local pub. So, let's do our 30 seconds.
Yeah, motherfucker, you're gonna fucking jerk off.
No, I mean, I'm gonna stay in the room if you want, and like Mojo could just invite people and blow this room up as I leave and come back. I'll live stream it, no problem. But Mountain, I mean, we're trying to be gentlemen here with you. We're not trying to have confrontation with you, dude. It's a fucking Saturday night, man.
Don't fucking call me a liar and act like you didn't say that, bro. You clearly said that that's why you were like, I don't mean to be like this. I'm a libertarian, but
No, I actually said that I've walked myself back off of the libertarian position.
So let me finish. So I'm a libertarian, but these people need
That's
to
not
be
what I said.
eliminated.
That's not what I
That's
said.
what the fuck. It's exactly what you said.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. No, you're just not. You're not a good listener.
This is why you cannot have. This is why the BAP sucks, because when you try to nail people down on the fucking ground, when you nail them in a corner after what you just said, you literally just said that you wanted to kill.
No, I never said kill. No, I said hold on.
You wanted pedophiles to be eliminated.
Eliminated, yes. I want them eliminated. Yes.
What do you think eliminated means, dude? Eliminated.
I will explain to you.
So
I will
you
explain to
said
you.
you wanted pedophiles.
I will explain.
You wanted.
Yeah,
You wanted sex.
Yep. I can explain it to you if you want to listen. I didn't move you, by the way. I'll bring you back up, but you're not very good at listening. Oh, he left. Well, whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
John, it was good seeing you.
Good seeing you too. I hope all is well. God bless.
Yep. All good, man. Later.
Take care. Okay, this has been another exciting brain damaged Clubhouse users with Canada John, Mojo, and Mountain there. This has been ASMR hypnosis, relaxation sounds. Go to johnforcongress.com. Oh, actually, what I will do is also I'll pin a link. So maybe if somebody gets that positive Mojo vibration experience. And you want to donate $10, 10 out of 11 to the campaign through Antidote. Let's just pin that link right there. Let's just leave the room open, brain damage Clubhouse users. It includes everybody. Kind of funny. All right, I hope you enjoyed the show. We're leaving. Hope you have a good night.